So let's actually test how this automation rule works. So as a reminder, this rule automatically replies to any customer that asks the Shopify store anything to do with their shipping or tracking information. So we already went through exactly how this rule gets triggered. And the final output is hi, first name of the customer, which it pulls automatically from the customer database from Shopify. And then it tells the customer exactly what order they've had and sends them the link to their tracking number, right? Again, all automatic, based on the backend Shopify data that is integrated into Gorgias. So let's actually test out this rule and see if it works. So I already prepared a fake customer called Carl who's going to test this rule for us. So we'll just write hi CT team, where is my tracking number for my order, ? Best Carl, and then the subject line, let's also put tracking number. And then we're just going to send it to the customer service email on the website. So this is the website. Great. Let's send it right now. Let's view message and let's see how long it takes to get a reply. Okay, and just a few seconds later, we got a reply. So here you can already see new message show. And you can see 11:44, literally a few seconds apart. We can see the automated reply where we see hi Carl, the exact order that the customer made, and the link to the tracking number. So this is exactly what we want to see. This is how we've automated this reply, and we can do this for every other topic as well. What's also interesting is to see how this worked in the backend, right? So if we actually go to tickets, you'll see in all, this is the ticket from Carl. Hi CT, where's the tracking order for my number at 11:44? And you can see how the Gorgias bot indeed replied with this rule, the rule that we just went through. So the rule worked. We can see all the details of Carl's order history being pulled from the Shopify backend. And this is what we can apply to every single topic of the store, automate pretty much like 95% of all tickets, and drastically reduce the cost per ticket for any Shopify store. So what are the most effective tools for you to automate the customer tickets for a Shopify store? The two most powerful tools for sure are automation rules and macros. And I want to show you how both of them work on Gorgias. Gorgias is the most popular CRM app for Shopify. However, the exact same ideas here will also apply if you're using different CRM software. But I'll be showing how this works on Gorgias. So under Gorgias, if you go into the settings section and you scroll a bit lower under the productivity section, you will see rules and macros. And those are, again, the two most powerful tools that you can really use to automate the majority of your tickets. It's really the meat and potatoes of automation. So let's jump straight in and let's start with automation rules. And the way rules work are really, you first need to create a tag, and that tag will essentially then be used to trigger a rule to automatically reply to a customer email or chat message or whatever it might be. But again, most of those rules are created for email. So let me actually show you exactly how it works and how you can actually create a rule yourself. And the most powerful thing is that you should actually create the rules yourself, because you know your store best and you can essentially trigger the rules exactly on the keywords that you want. And that's much more powerful than using, for example, some of the preset rules that Gorgias gives you, because those are more general and they might only partially apply to your store. In the beginning of the video, I gave this example with the tracking inquiry, which is a very common thing. And this is exactly how it works. So we first create the tag, or the intent as Gorgias calls it. It's the exact same thing. And that is literally a tag that gets triggered if certain keywords are in the email of the customer ticket coming in. So when ticket is created, right? So if in the message body, and that's literally in the actual email text, or in the ticket subject line, those keywords are found anywhere, then this tag, so this tracking intent, will be created. And you can see that the actual keywords here are very self-explanatory, right? So if someone writes the word tracking, or where is my, or shipping status, or where's my order, when will I receive my order, et cetera, right? And I'm happy that I reach out. I'm happy to send you essentially all of those rules, because again, we have dozens of rules, and I'm more than happy for you to copy paste them. But again, the powerful thing is that you can create those rules yourself and customize it based on the exact keywords that you want those rules to be triggered. You might have, a different language or a unique product or a unique business model where you will want to create rules that are customized specifically to that. But that's essentially how the tag is created, right? So here, this tracking intent J will be created anytime a customer writes an email with any of those words included. This tag then gets used to trigger the rule. This is the rule that I showed you in the beginning of the video, how this tool works, right? It allows you to create when, then, if, and, or statements, right? And allows you to say, so like when ticket is created, if it essentially comes into this email. So this is the CRM email of that store. You can obviously select which email you want in case you have multiple stores. Like in our case, we actually put this here because we have many different emails. If the ticket status is open, and again, here you can see this intent. So if this intent is there, which means that it has to be about tracking, right? So we already know that those are all the customer tickets that are essentially coming from people who want to know about their tracking number. Then we also want to make sure that the customer order count is at least one, that they actually have an order with the store. Those are the main ifs and thens that then trigger the reply. And this is where you can exactly customize the reply to the customer. And again, the very powerful thing here is that Gorgias directly pulls all the information from the Shopify backend and from the history of the customer. And if you press here, you can see all the different things you can pull and customize directly into the message, right? So you can actually put the number of the last order, you can put the date of the last order, you can put the tracking number as in this email, and so on and so forth, right? So you can customize the email based on the exact information of that customer and their history with the store and any other back-end data that your Shopify store has. This is extremely powerful, and that's where I think Gorgias really distinguishes itself from other CRM softwares, because up until now, that might not be that unique, but the fact that it's integrated perfectly with Shopify and pulls all this data is extremely useful and powerful. The other nice thing here is a small feature, which is a bit hidden. You can insert Shopify products. So for example, here, again, with this coffee store example, you can actually select a specific product. So if you're talking about a specific product, you can actually put it here with the image, and you can see how much is in stock. So this is all very useful and powerful. You can add different links. You can essentially, it has all the features for you to create the perfectly customized email, which automatically sends to the customer if, in this case, they ask for the tracking number. So that's how the rules work, and that's how you can automatically reply to the most important messages that are predictable in nature to your customers, and essentially reduce your costs and vastly increase your first response and resolution time. So we just went through how the automation rules can be a very powerful tool for you to automate the tickets for your Shopify store for messages that are predictable. So the example we went through was customers asking about their tracking number, and that's a very predictable type of message that comes in, and that almost applies to any Shopify store, that there's some customers that just always ask about their tracking number, that we can reply automatically to that because we can predict the keywords that they're going to use in the email that they send the store. However, not every ticket, as you can imagine, is that predictable. And that's where macros come in. Macros are another very powerful tool that your agents can essentially use. What are macros, in case you don't know? As it says here, they're pre-made responses that essentially your agents can use to 10x their output and also add a bit of nuance, a bit more customization to the tickets, and also answer much more complicated tickets, right? That are not as simple as just a customer asking, for example, for the tracking number. So again, we have a bunch of different macros that we use. And let me, for example, open up one of them to show you how they work. So again, the great thing about macros is you can essentially pre-build a template based on any topic that you think your agents will have to deal with. So for example, this is regarding a partial refund, right? So one of our stores, we have scenarios where we need to give a partial refund, or we decide to give a partial refund. And again, you can add all those customized sections. For example, under Shopify, again, you can take any of this information from the backend, which will automatically take it for that order. and customize the email perfectly for that reply. The other great thing about macros is here towards the bottom, you can see that there's an automated action that also happens. And here you can actually see that the action is to partially refund the last order. This is extremely powerful, as I mentioned, because your CRM agents, they do not need to leave the Gorgias dashboard. They don't need to go to Shopify, for example, to actually do the refund. They can do it automatically and directly on Gorgias. That saves you a lot of time. It saves the CRM agent a lot of time because they don't need to go back and forth between the tab. You don't even need to give them access to your Shopify backend. Some Shopify stores, they don't have enough spots to give all their agents access to their store. Sometimes they don't even want to give access to their store because there's obviously a lot of confidential information there potentially. And in any case, it's just a much more efficient way for the agents to get things done. And there's all kinds of other Shopify actions that you can add here, right? You can cancel the last order. You can, again, do a partial refund like here. You can do a full refund. You can actually just refund the last order shipping cost. So there's all those different things that you can do. That's very powerful to essentially combine with the macros, right? You have the action and the customized email that the agent can open. So how does this actually look like when actually used in practice? So let's just go under tickets and open up some random ticket. This is a random ticket that I just opened. So when your agent is, for example, replying to this ticket, right, they can just press here and you can see on the left are all the different macros that we have, right? There's just dozens and dozens of different macros. And they can, for example, let's say they can search for the macro so they can find exactly the one that they're looking for. So let's just random example. Let's just say that that's the macro that they want to open. This macro immediately, it takes the first name of the customer. You can see that that's correct. It takes the order because here on the right-hand side, we can essentially see the entire order history of that customer. All the Shopify backend information is being pulled and inserted into the email accordingly. So this is exactly what we want to see. And then on top of that, once they send, again, the correct tags are going to be essentially added. And then again, the actions that we've added on the macros as shown before will also be done immediately when the email is sent. And that's exactly how your agents can essentially leverage those macros to be way more productive, to essentially get the actions done directly on Gorgias and to essentially save themselves and you a lot of time and money. Before you bounce, get a free valuation of your Shopify store. Just fill in the 2-minute form below and our team will get back to you within 24 hours with a detailed valuation for your store. Also, check out other free resources on our website, artikunooptimization.com, to automate and scale your Shopify store.